Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to FACEIT TV. It's a lot of people have been asking me, James, when is the FACEIT League going to start? And well, this is the qualifiers. We're going to do the qualifiers. You guys are going to find out who.
When is it going to start, Dan?
Well, I don't know actually. But we're doing the qualifiers, James.
I know when it's going to start.
Do you know? Yeah, but that's privileged information.
I'm not going to tell you today.
Either way, sorry if I sound and look and generally give off the idea that I'm unhealthy and ill, but that's true.
I think they deduced that from previous casts, Dan.
Yeah, that's true. But we're not talking mentally; we're talking physically as well now.
Yeah, today we're talking physically.
Yeah. So you're going to carry the cast today, because people probably don't want to hear my nasally voice. But yeah, we've got Na'Vi and Mousesports kicking things off. Interestingly, Zeus was having some problems. Well, probably not so interesting for people who have been betting on Na'Vi.
Oh, Zeus has come back in, actually.
Oh, Zeus has come back in, guys. He was going to be replaced by Kiwi Kakin, who actually, I was kind of, as much as I would like to see their proper lineup, it would have been kind of cool to see Kiwi Kakin play, considering that he has played with them in the past and being the in-game leader and stuff. So that would have been quite interesting. But Zeus is jumping back in. We've got Mirage to begin with, Dust 2, and then Nuke to follow up with. And this is basically an 8-team bracket. So the winner of this this best of 3 will go up against Dat, if Dat can defeat a team which is yet to be decided.
I think this the winner of this plays Epsilon, don't they? Oh, it's Dat?
It's Dat.
Okay, we'll confirm that later on. I did think it was Epsilon, though. So they'll play Epsilon or the person who qualifies. There's currently a qualifier. Actually, too much info to go through right now, but we'll do it in the break. Never mind that, because you can see Na'Vi have a Tech 9 train going towards the B bomb. So you can see chrisJ in a passive position there, holding short. That's a really good angle to stop people as they go through the windows. chrisJ going to protect himself from flashbangs and nades as they go for the retake. You can see all 5 CT members are still alive. You can see LEGIJA and Troubley in the apps. In the meantime, in the shop area, we have godb and zonixx. So let's see how this goes down. chrisJ still holding short. Going to be challenged there by starix.
godb is the one with the kit as well. And it looks like they're doing a pretty decent job of cleaning this up now, but godb needs to get on that bomb ASAP. That thing's about to explode. starix in a really good position here. He might be able to get another kill. He won't, but the defuse will come through from godb. So that was a really patient retake there by Mousesports. Really patient. And,
okay. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan.
I hate you, James. Go away.
I thought you were finished very quickly.
I was pretty much
very quickly. So we have it's the final 8, and 2 of these teams will go into the league. So the invited teams are Na'Vi, Dat, Epsilon, and Hellraisers, and they'll be met by 4 teams who qualify from the FACEIT online qualifiers, which are happening right now. The second half, the first half of which was yesterday. So Mousesports, one of the teams who qualified from that. You can see Na'Vi again on the eco after losing that pistol, going to get the bomb down in that smoke. Very nice smoke there, and that's going to be the main priority here, and to do a little bit of damage as well. You can see Troubley's M4 has been shot, and zonixx is going to troll his mate as he throws his P90 down to pick it up.
They just got 2 bomb plants in a row. That's actually kind of sick.
I think depending on how much they bought, he might be able to go for an AWP here.
That's the thing. Like they didn't. This is why it's like so sick, and you almost never see it, because usually to get that bomb down, you kind of have to invest something in there. But they didn't really do it. They just managed to run out and plant the bomb. So look at the buy. It's kind of ridiculous, actually.
Yeah. So the AWP indeed has come out. starix they did a bit of calculating, and he's going to buy the AWP for Guardian and just roll without a helmet. So we'll see how this goes.
Let's check out Guardian. Okay, so are they just going to go for this straight through the apps here? Just see if he can get a pick first of all, it would seem. And to be fair, they can just leave Guardian there and not show themselves and just wait a little bit. See if Guardian can open up something for them. But the longer stuff goes on, the more likely it is Mousesports are going to start to take more peeks on the map and start to figure out exactly where Na'Vi is like hiding out at the moment. So Guardian's got a big responsibility to make something happen right now.
Yeah, he was in an awkward situation there where he needs a teammate to cover him as well, just in case a peek comes in while he's looking at the site. But again, that is an area where you can get like if you can get into the apps fast enough as the CTs are jumping onto the left side of the van where Guardian's peeking right now, then you can get a fast frag there. But also they can do the Super Mario Brothers where he's aiming just to the right of the van. So let's see if godb can punish here. I think his teammates are going to be baiting for him. And even if they run past, he'll probably just be watching them for a while. That's Na'Vi going for vintage. The vintage late push here. C's going to fall to LEGIJA, and the push is coming in on short. LEGIJA going to flash himself out there. Gobby still not moving an inch. And there's a cleanup from Gobby with a P90, picking up that AWP as well. So starix, last man standing, 2 HP. Going to take one straight to the chest from Gobby.
You can really see the idea from them was quite clear. Like oftentimes when you're playing a pick-based strategy and someone gets like an opening pick really fast, a team wants to like rush into the hole that's being created by that player. But in this instance, Guardian was like, okay, I'm going to get a pick there. And they were kind of just playing off the fact that they were really expecting to get one quickly. But we really saw that what we talked about there. The longer they waited, the harder and harder it got. The more time Mousesports got to position and work it out. So that was kind of what bit them in the backside there, not having really a plan B to fall back on for Guardian not getting that pick. But it was quite a cool idea to commit everyone there. Because if he does get that pick, then boom, it's kind of over. So that would have been very cool to see. But now Mousesports looking pretty damn strong. And
that smoke has not done the job there for chrisJ. He's got lots of space to find more people to shoot with that AWP. Troubley coming in for support in connected area as well. And that first flash we saw from chrisJ at the beginning of the run was quite nice. Allowed him to peek the corner. 3 people left it. Na'Vi taking it slow, even on the eco. Getting cut down one by one though. starix, only one remaining. Not going to find a head with that P250. So we're going to be back on a buy round for Na'Vi. Expect we'll see Guardian with that AWP straight away. Guy doesn't even have a skin for an AK.
So, alright. I wonder if they'll take the same approach, putting a lot of emphasis on Guardian, which is never a bad thing to do because he's obviously an amazing player, but it's like it's going to be a bit of a set play for the opening here, and it'd be interesting to see what kind of nades they're going to throw, because Na'Vi have shown a lot of diversity with how they, and creativity with how they can cut off a site with smokes. But we do have a player very, very close here. It is zonixx, and if zonixx it doesn't get dealt with quickly here, this could just destroy everything. Immediately taken out though. That's good work there by starix, and Edward going to take down Troubley and Shadow. This is great, a great effort so far. They're down a man though, as Zeus does team kill Edward, and Na'Vi still yet to really get everyone on the site. Here we go. Nice pick there from C's onto LEGIJA, and that bomb might just have to go down soon, but Gobby is going to finish off C's. Almost. They almost made that work, but
4 against 6.
But yeah.
There's a spy in the ranks on the Na'Vi side.
Yeah, without that team kill, they were looking really good in taking the site there.
So this is a best of 3, everyone. And I'll try and give you an update on who Mousesports beat to get here a bit later on. But they're doing well so far. Clean sheet, 5-0 on the CT side.
And they're doing a bit of a split and pick at the moment. They have got a buy. They've lost so many rounds in a row that they've got that max buy money now. So having a bit of cash left over, had them around 4k here. So we're seeing that kind of scrappier buy, minimal nades, and even a Galil in the mix here. So let's have a look, see if Zeus can find something here. Obviously, what they're looking for is figuring out positions, trying to get as much control of the map as they possibly can. It'd be nice if Edward would move himself towards connector here, but it's going to allow C's to take a peek. We can see that Edward's actually going to flash for him, so now he can peek to connector and have the trade possibility. And now they're going to go for the split into the A site. So Na'Vi looking not so bad at the moment, but Mousesports haven't really given anyone up just yet. Troubley in the back of the site, able to take down 2 quick frags. That's excellent work with the bomb down as well. And oh no, Na'Vi, they're figuring it out way too late. And wow, what a shutdown. Mousesports, excellent. They're staying alive.
That was a really interesting hold on the CT side there.
Yeah, it really was.
They didn't peek. I mean, you could see Troubley was in that corner area. He didn't peek for the longest time. He put Na'Vi in a false sense of security. You could see them standing in the middle of the site just looking for engagement. They're like, where the hell are the CTs? And then Troubley, I think he's put down 3 players there. So
yeah,
very interesting hold. I haven't seen that kind of specific style recently.
Completely. It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that was worked a treat for them, but I think they're going to have to change up their tactics. See Zeus just lining up for a smoke there, but he heard the footsteps, manages to get himself a free gun as well on this eco. You can see he was lining up to throw that smoke based on reference points in the floor
Oh wow, I have not seen that smoke before from Zeus. Is that connector smoke from... Wow, that's pretty cool, if that's the case. It is as well, yeah, wow, that's amazing. And we are going to have the push now onto the A bomb site. So Mousesports again though, they've got great positions to deal with this. They've been pretty defensive and very reliant on team play and good team play setups. But Guardian coming in through the smoke, arising with 2 frags on that P250 is certainly going to help matters as they go and man up in this battle against Mousesports. It's just zonixx left, and with Seized and Guardian running amok now with that bomb, they can pretty much go anywhere they want with that 40 seconds. So zonixx has to kind of stay, well, either go for a bit of a gamble, just like he is going to go towards short here, or he has to stay just around this connector CPL area and just listen to hear where the plant goes down, as he can't know which side it's going to be for short. And that's what he's doing at the moment, playing it safe. And there we go. Now he's going to work it out, and he's going to definitely be against the clock here, and he's only got half health as well. And Na'Vi have all the time in the world to set up their position. zonixx now, he's got a lot of deduction to go. I think he just spotted that second flash coming out of the apartments. He knows what both of them are now, but that's not gonna make it all that much easier. And Na'Vi pick up the round.
So finally, Na'Vi get onto the scoreboard, and again, Guardian with lots of money in the bank here for that AWP. You know, it's interesting. He has an Asimov in his inventory, but he likes the big green gun, the old school. I'm quite fond of the original green AWP as well. It's by itself, it is quite a gorgeous skin.
I have become recently anti-skins, James.
I could have gone anywhere with that half sentence. I have recently become a woman.
There's not much evidence to suggest that would be true, though.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
You can't just say things, James.
You can. You can.
That's not how the world works. This will be interesting now. We've got, once again, Zeus is taking over connector, so this gives strong options onto this A push, because Zeus can cause all kinds of trouble for these players.
LEGIJA knows he's there though, because Zeus is standing on a wooden box and LEGIJA's heard the footstep.
Alright, well, there goes the smoke. Smart play there from LEGIJA, so he doesn't have to worry about that just yet, but it'd be smarter even still if he pushed through the connector through that smoke. He's just going to relax there though. Cancel the rotation. chrisJ coming in from the T-spawn. And that's going to be Mousesports once again working out what's going to happen far before it actually hits. And now comes in the push and dribs and drabs. And Na'Vi are not having much success here. They can't even really initiate the push. We do have a flank coming in though from jungle. Edward able to pick up 1 kill. Now this is given away. Guardian. Some quick shots here, but doesn't connect. 3 players left standing for Mousesports. Guardian with the first one. And that's all he's going to get. 7-1 is the score now, as Mousesports are doing a very good job in essentially kind of playing counter Na'Vi, because Na'Vi are all about the slow plays. We know that much is true. And they've been doing some good setups, but Mousesports are just moving a little bit too quickly for them, it would seem.
Well, I'd say they're moving a bit too quickly at the right times, but in the same sense, they're being extremely passive as well in the kind of the time where Na'Vi wants to get that frag, as Guardian gets an early frag on chrisJ at the beginning of the round. But generally speaking, they are just they're ruining Na'Vi's timing. Na'Vi are playing certain timings so they can open up a bomb site at a certain part of the round and then get the plant. But Mouse are engaging after that time and kind of just throwing all of Na'Vi's timings out of whack, and that is giving them a 7-1 advantage.
Excellent stuff from Guardian. Another frag picked up onto Gobby on the B bomb site. In comes the rotation through the window. LEGIJA gets eliminated as well, and Mousesports not liking the looks of this, and they are going to back away. 1 point from the previous round that I think is quite interesting as far as Na'Vi is concerned. Now starix has an AWP as well, which is quite cool, but it's the fact that the role that connector plays on this map. For example, Na'Vi had this situation where their push on A had pretty much been figured out. They had a bunch of people players on slope, I think 3 it was. 1 in connector, which was Zeus, and then 1 who may have been seized, I think. He was in around middle. And in this kind of situation where you have connector like they do, it gives you the opportunity to actually to double back a play into middle or into B. Because having connector stops the CTs from having as much mid presence, and you get a lot of info as to how they are going to try to retake mid or B as well with that player. And it takes a lot of nades and team play to actually safely get rid of him. So I find it's really interesting that some teams often play for connector, and they work like this. But that situation, they just committed, even though it was obvious that Mousesports had figured out what they were doing.
I just want to make a point with regards to. There's a pause here, by the way. We saw Zeus standing on this box, and I don't know if it was standing on the box or jumping on the box that gave his position away to a player who was here. But just for you guys who play on Mirage, especially on the T side, jumping on this flower pot or whatever this vase is quite common. People do it for no particular reason, but the problem is, when you jump on here, you often make a sound when you get back off again. So unless you have a particular reason to be up here, which most of the time you don't, I would advise not jumping on here because you will give your position away, especially when you have a CT often playing here, or sometimes he could even hear it if they're standing in this corner. So again, it just gives the team, unless you're doing it deliberately for a fake, then it gives them the inkling that somebody is in the vicinity.
I gotta say, one of the things I really like is, I think it's MSL who very often in the teams that he plays with, I'm pretty sure it's MSL, he often goes to connector, and then what he does is he actually has some specific grenades that I see only MSL use for smokes and flashes and stuff. Maybe some other people have used them here and there, but I just see him using them specifically all the time, like it's his goal. So I find that interesting. So he does this. He takes it over by himself, and sometimes with a little bit of help, and then basically almost independent of what his team's doing. Because if his team's hitting A, then obviously he can help with A. If his team's not hitting A and they're doing B or something, then he becomes a lurker. Like he's a guy slowing rotation, giving information about where the CTs are rotating to the site. So it's like connector's really important for T-stick control. So you can do a lot with it, and it's actually interesting because Mousesports aren't putting a lot of focus on it right now, and Na'Vi have been able to take it pretty freely the times they've tried.
But they're still. It's 7-2 to Mousesports.
Yeah,
it's kind of like versus Pro as well. They sometimes ignore mid and just control connector. But what do you think Na'Vi have to do to get back into this first half?
I honestly most of the times they've been losing rounds. It hasn't been looking too bad for them, but it's just mostly that Mousesports kind of have figured it out. It seems like they're already repositioning before the push is happening, and in some cases, Na'Vi have been setting up a push, and Mousesports even catch them a little bit off guard. Or we even saw that time when they were setting up nades, and Mousesports push at the right moment to actually see, oh, a guy's got a nade in his hand, like a smoke in his hand. Even though they die, it gives them a bit of an idea of probably what's going to happen. So it just feels like Mousesports understand too much of what's going on. Like Na'Vi could pick up the pace, or adjust better. Because some rounds it's like, oh, the idea's really cool, but then it's just a little bit too slow. And they need their plan B. They need to work out, okay, maybe this isn't as good now. And let's go to another idea instead. I don't know. Those would be the two things I'd pick out.
Yeah, I think that last round was quite important for them in that it was very expensive for Mousesports as well. So at the moment, one of their players has, I think, 10,000, one has 4.5, the rest are floating around 1,000. So if they can get one more round under the bag, in the bag, then under the bag. Under the bag. It's in the bag. If they can get one more round in the bag, then they may be at a point where they can.
The funny thing is, you said that, I just didn't register it at all. I was just like, yeah, under the bag. Sounds pretty.
Under the bag, yeah.
Sounds
fine, yeah. Seems legit.
All right. But that's the thing, though. There's been lots of rounds where, in reality, it doesn't look like Na'Vi's doing all that much wrong. It's a lot of credit to Mousesports for having good defenses. They've had some weird rounds as well. That one round where they just pushed in for free. They took connector for free. They took Palace and upslope for free, and Troubley's just crouched behind a box inside the site in what some people call as the noob position. Aptly described, because it's just kind of a useless spot almost, because it's very easy to check, and you can always see people's head. You can wall bang it. It's kind of a horrible
Your options
spot.
are very limited. If you're spotted there as well, you're pretty much dead.
But
so
it worked. It worked, man. And they just let them take the site, and then Troubley kills 3 people. So
if you're wondering why you've never seen Na'Vi in our league to now, it's because of scheduling, essentially. They were invited to our first league, but they couldn't make it due to holidays. Yeah. So that's why, we're both big fans of Na'Vi. I've got lots of Na'Vi stickers. But and I want to see them in the league, absolutely. I personally, I'd like to see them qualify. Well,
this is the thing, right? Like you're saying, Na'Vi fan, and I was talking to the producer earlier, and we were trying to work out, because I had this thought. Hang on, I think Na'Vi must have been one of the only lineups that's been together for more than a year or something without changing, and producer Reese he threw out Virtus Pro, and I think Virtus Pro actually must be the longest standing lineup that stayed together for large period of time. I think out of the really top teams, and Na'Vi must be second to that. They must be, right? Is there
They must be, yeah.
maybe
I
you
can't
guys
think
on
of anyone
Twitter,
else.
like, just tweet me if I'm wrong, or if there's a team that you think has been together longer.
If he's
a
right,
top
tweet
team.
him anyway. Tell him he's wrong.
But that's a really interesting fact because Na'Vi are one of the teams that aren't as present as a lot of the other top teams in some of the leagues. Like they have a lot of breaks or they just miss certain qualifiers or whatever. Like you mentioned.
Speaking of Versus Pro, I beat Taz in a knife fight at FACEIT LAN. Because I was doing the spectating before the match started, I was running around and shooting players. I was like, yeah, I'm the best.
It's not really an accolade for your work.
I had a knife fight with Taz and I won.
Did you create a trophy for yourself and with a little
No,
knife?
but now you mentioned it, maybe I should.
Do you have a trophy wall or a rack or something, or no?
I don't have enough
wall,
trophies.
A rack of accolades.
No, I have like gifts from around the world, but do you have a wall of accolades?
No, I don't. Of course
No?
not. No, no, not really.
I don't know where this is going now.
Broken dreams, and that's more or less what
tears. You have a wall of tears.
Exactly, yeah. But as far as this match goes, we do have Dust 2 following. Right now, it looks pretty good for Mousesports. It really could change though, as we suggested. But Nuke will be the decider. We've seen a lot of Nuke lately, but Nuke will be the decider if it goes 3 maps. And so it was Epsilon versus to be decided, right? The winner of that these guys, the winner of this plays, right?
Yes.
Because I have it written down on my notes the other way around, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Na'Vi and Epsilon are in the same half of the 8-team bracket, and then Hellraisers and Dat are in the same half of the other bracket. By the way, there is a pause, which is why you're sitting here staring at us. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but maybe we can get an update on that.
All right.
Oh, so I think, is it Zeus? Okay, so Zeus has had some internet issues. Not DDoS, just, I don't know, he has some kind of problem. So we were about to start with the stand-in, who was the ex-in-game leader of Na'Vi. Yeah. But he managed to fix them at least for a short while, so he started the game. But the problems have persisted, so Kiwi Kakin is returning to take his place.
You know what? Kiwi Kakin reminds me of my favorite word in Dutch. Do you know what it is?
Capsalon?
No. What is that? Is that a Dutch word?
Capsalon means barbershop, but there is like this kebab type thing called barbershop.
Oh, we've talked about this on the stream before. Totally forgot.
I still haven't had Capsalon in like the last 4 years. This is the best thing about like a terrible memory like mine, is that stuff that's already happened is like new again. It's very exciting again. So do you know what it's like? I found a bag of carrots in my bag the other day, right? Like mini carrots, peeled carrots, just like a snack to eat in the studio. I bought them and then I forgot about them. And then the next day I was like, I've got carrots in my bag. Boom, I got carrots. I could bought them twice, but only for once, only for one price. It's good stuff.
But yeah,
I don't often find carrots anywhere.
Carrots are like really good for snacks.
Yes, they
very
are.
filling, healthy. Recommend that.
You won't get fat eating carrots. Good for your eyesight as well.
So yeah, my favorite word in Dutch is koekenbakker.
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 What does that mean?
It means cookie baker.
Cookie baker.
Yeah, and cookies are awesome. So I don't know. That just stuck with me since like 2004 when I joined a team called Koekenbakker. But there you go. That's how it is. All right, we're missing something. Fixed. I'm the best. All right, got 2 AWPs now. Seized and Guardian AWPing. Negi with a bit of an aggressive push and underpass.
I like that flash.
And look at that. This smoke. This smoke is going to get him almost safely through. Almost. But that smoke was something from a previous match we were talking about that was missing from the CTs when you're pushing underpass or vice versa. When you're trying to go for a push.
Yes. What team was that?
Because it gives you the ability to escape. I can't remember.
Look at the read here from the CTs. Only 3 of them remaining versus the double AWP of the Na'Vi side. But you know how Na'Vi like to roll, and that is very, very slowly. Their power strollers are on low power every round.
They had like a spirit.
They'll get there eventually.
Spirit guide.
No trade frag either. Wow, the instant reload there from starix.
That's
complete confidence. Yeah, nobody's there. Something we can talk about a little bit more during the cooldown. Is zonixx going to punish this plant attempt? That is the question. He allows the plant. He's going to sneak in. Takes out 1. Gets shot from short though. Gob B, last man standing with the Ebola knife.
The Ebola knife.
Yeah, let's have a look at the money on his team. Sip it here and there. See if he's going to go for exit frags or what the situation is. He could actually hide here, but oh, he was just a bit too greedy. Again, that's another one where you don't, unless you specifically check that angle, if they're coming out of A, they often miss you completely. So one of those angles to be aware of, guys. But again, for the people watching, I often see, especially with lower ranked people and pugs and so on, sometimes they'll get a kill. Let's say they're using a rifle with 30 bullets, they'll get a kill with like 8 bullets and then instantly reload their rifle. And there's an example of why you don't do that. Make sure you're in a safe place when you reload your gun.
Okay, we've got the slow push with all the weapons from Na'Vi, and it should be fine. They should come out without a scratch here.
Yeah, this is the anti-eco push where they actually get the case.
Yeah, this is really nice. I do really like it when teams go for moves like this, because, I mean, if you think of what problems you could be under when the other team's ecoing, is if one of your players gets isolated and a weapon drops, and you can't deal with it, that's a huge problem. So this makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, what can they really do? I mean, even if they stack the site, it's so hard.
The good thing about this map is that it's relatively safe for them to quickly get all the way up to the bomb site. Pretty much. I mean, obviously they have to get out of the apps into the site itself, but compared to other maps, it's generally a safer passage. Ooh, that spray gets there in the end.
That would have been embarrassing had he died to that USB.
So again, how do we pronounce his name? I don't want to have to contribute to the 50 jar.
Kiwi Kaken.
Kiwi Kaken is Toha on your screen. So I wonder what plays like this are doing. We need like a where are they now, you know? Ex-in-game leader of Na'Vi. Like suddenly appears as a sub in a game, but where was he before? What was he doing? We haven't seen him in any other matches. Oh, apparently he played in the FACEIT qualifier yesterday. Oh, so he's loitering around somewhere. But who is he? You know, who is he playing with? All that, all the other questions. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so we got Guardian AWPing again, and
no helmets on the CT side.
And Guardians are actually just kind of idling towards Palace at the moment, doing nothing much of anything. Very, very passive. So as far as the opening positions goes, it's, I mean,
Guardian's style right now is so different to what you're seeing from most AWPers.
Okay, so he's going to throw a smoke, which is going to allow his teammates to move in underpass. Okay, they want to move from underpass to connector, and then once they've done that, Guardian can pick from Palace, and they can hit the A3 pronged attack. But he's taking his time. What is that? Is that smoke?
Oh wow, Guardian, please!
Oh, wow.
These fakes are insane.
Wow, okay, it's going to turn to a fake. That's completely wrong. That smoke changes.
Look at the rotation! 4 people rotating.
Oh, that's so sick.
This is nuts.
Love that. Oh my goodness, they're even going to sell it with some kills, but now they're starting to work it out. Guardian with an opening pick onto Troubley on the entry, and it is going swimmingly here for Na'Vi. Beautiful effort.
I almost swore.
zonixx hits the ground.
Oh dear me. We've seen that. We've seen Guardian do that before. He seems to be the one who throws these humongous fakes.
Dude.
Like he did it on Inferno as well. I spent like half an hour trying to do something similar. Where I think he was in mid, and he threw a smoke for CT on B.
That's literally like, that's like this. It's like across the entire map.
That is a highlight in itself.
That is awesome. Yeah.
If that's not #1 highlight, I'm gonna fire someone today.
That's gonna get fired. That's amazing. That totally changed everything. That's amazing.
Wow.
We have to...
Na'Vi pulling out the big guns here. Look at this push in the Palace from 2 players. No trade kill. Eventually it comes in for zonixx. That's going to give both teams a lot of information. We'll see if it speeds up the Na'Vi side. They have got a frag onto the A side as well. So they're gonna have a relative unknown behind them, in the sense that they don't know if he's going to come lower mid, lower A, upper A, or just roister somewhere else. They have got seized in a position. He's looking for that play, but also looking for the flank, but the flank is LEGIJA, and he is in CT spawn. Has been spotted now, does take down the ex-in-game leader. Guardian, again, he's just checking his back at the same time. He doesn't know it, but he could be facing assailants from both directions. A second frag with a 5-7. Can he save himself a gun, or is he just going to go for the damage now? In fact, the explosion may push a gun his way, so he won't go too far.
So a really nice round there from Mousesports to actually pick up some weapons here.
Oh, he missed the AK.
And James, look at the score, 7-6 now. So really climbing back and doing so in a remarkable fashion in some of these rounds. Still thinking about that smoke because he could also throw that smoke like at middle, like I was kind of assuming that he would, and then his teammates could go for the three-pronged attack through connector because that would cut off the CPL, the worrying about CPL when you push
know, there's a bind for jumping and throwing smokes at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I don't use it myself because I'm a bit of a purist in that sense, but I have nothing to say about people who do. But I feel like to do a smoke like that consistently, you have to use one of those kind of jump and throw binds because that was insane. And look, are they going to push here or are they just basing all of the counter nades and flashes? This could be a double fake, in fact. Because look, we've got 4 people, 4 CTs here, just ready and waiting, but nothing is happening whatsoever. They have to start to get paranoid. We've got even more flashes and counters coming in. Only Edward is situated towards B at the moment, but he's not making any kind of noise there or even making any steps. So, looks like it's just going to be just Na'Vi just playing on the doubts of Mousesports right here, but it's not working out just yet as Edward starts to push towards the B bomb site. We're seeing a slight rotation, but they're playing it passively. Looks like they're going to play B for the retake if they need to.
Lots of players still congregating around this A bomb site for the CT side of Mousesports. Na'Vi finally going in. chrisJ with a pick onto C's there, but the trades are coming in. It's not looking too bad until Troubley comes into the fray once again from the noob corner with the 3-man takedown, and that's excellent work from him. As they got to watch out for that position. It like should not work, but it does for some reason. And the thing that I don't understand exactly is the plan behind all those smokes and then waiting, because they're still, all those players are still going to be there.
I feel like maybe they're going for a double fake, but then again, Edward's not making any sound.
That's the thing, yeah.
Towards B, but I don't know if they're using the fact that there's no sound there as part of the double bait. You can see now Seized is in the position Edward was in.
Here we go. I have an extra thought for that, but we'll hold that for now. We do have the push coming in. Very key position, Troubley once again. He's over by Shadow, I believe, and you can see him on the crate there. Now he's very smoked off at the moment, but he's got players just.
That smoke works in his favour though. They can't plant the bomb with that smoke there because he can just punish him for it really easily.
They're looking for Troubley. They're going to find him straight away. Karkin with that frag, and we've got zonixx there over by the toll booth. Going to get another kill is Karkin closing the distance on zonixx, and LEGIJA and chrisJ remaining, but they can't really go for this unless LEGIJA gets a pick
the last round, they have to go
away.
for it.
So, oh, that's a good point. Well, we'll have to see if LEGIJA is going to be able to make chrisJ's life easier. There are 2 players who are quite low, but immediately chrisJ is going to get thrown down those stairs, and LEGIJA missing a shot. 8-7, Na'Vi coming back in excellent fashion, because they were down 7-2, well 7-1 essentially, and they pretty much got 6 rounds more, almost back to back. So
that smoke was mind blowing, man.
That's the highlight round for me, absolutely, because you see fakes, but the fact that should be like an Olympic throw or something like that guy should go into one of those Olympic tossing competitions, which I'm trying to think of which would be the most appropriate, because you've got the discus.
It's a shot put. Definitely, it's a shot put. But or it could be discus as well. I'll give you a bit of discus. Like he could have gone for a 360 no scope, but that would have been very hard to land. You can see the the odds are on the page right now. So CS:GO Lounge, e-gaming bets pretty much on a par. Skins are with Na'Vi right now, the more tried and tested team. That said, it is the internet and it is chrisJ.
Exactly, and the new Mousesports lineup did debut very recently in the G2A semis against LDLC. They lost all the 3 maps, but
that's the worst circle I've ever drawn.
But they showed a lot of skill and potential. So can their T sides live up to the skill that we know they're capable of? Already it's a 1-for-1, and Mousesports still with a lot of freedom to attack wherever they want to, whichever way they want to go, because as we're seeing right now, the bomb initially moving towards A, now is backing off towards B. So if it does end up over towards B, it is going to be important for C's to stay alive as long as he can here to delay for rotation, because those Glocks are going to bear down on them pretty quickly. Here we go. In go the grenades. And seized over by headshot. Still keeping his position unknown. This is very smart, actually. This is going to definitely gain a lot of time in his favor. And there it is. Here's the plant. Okay, barely gets the frag, but the bomb does go down. Zeus coming in from kitchen, and now we'll see still alive. We do have Zeus able to combine with these to take the frag. LEGIJA holding down from window, almost going down to the grenade. In comes two CTs trying to reclaim this bomb site. zonixx is dead as well, thanks to Seized, who has somehow, against all odds, stayed alive all this time. He even gets the next frag. Seized, excellent work there. Really fantastic play. And we do have a VAC authentication error, and that's really annoying. That's happened to me before.
Edward has literally been kicked due to VAC.
But he has not been VAC though.
No, of course, I'm trolling people.
Not to be confused.
Worry not, he will return. I remember Pasha had that at LAN once.
Yeah.
Seen a video and
he had
he
that.
went into Hulk mode. I saw him going green.
It was really funny because it was obviously the DreamHack Winter 2014, which was right after all the VACing. So everyone who would have seen that, like, your gut reaction is like, oh my god, Pasha got VAC banned, but which would have been really funny for about 1 second, but it didn't happen, which is great because everyone loves Pasha, and he's like one of the most genuine people ever, and one of the most genuine competitors ever. It was such a history in the game.
Would you put him up there with like Mother Teresa?
Well, I think
you said most genuine people ever.
Well,
people agree that she was pretty gangster.
Well, there's debate about Mother Teresa. We shouldn't get into that.
No, we definitely shouldn't.
That's not a territory we should enter.
Okay, who then?
But do you know who Christopher Hitchens is, or was? Because he's dead.
Well, I know he's not Gordon Bennett.
Well, he wrote very unpopular opinions of Mother Teresa. I've never read it, but he's a smart dude, so maybe he's onto something.
Okay, is he on a par with Bill Clinton? Everyone likes Bill Clinton, right?
I guess. Well, sure, why not?
Anyway,
I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't think
Pasha's not Bill Clinton, though.
He's not, no, but Pasha's, he is, from what I can see, a very nice person with a massive chest.
A massive chest.
It's like a
you know
piece of iron.
Pasha should definitely try to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, and just after his CS career, he should try to like just move to America and become governor
of California.
Governor of some state or other. Not California, because then you have to run against Arnie. I mean,
well,
come on.
I think he's done now. He's back in the movies.
Back in the movies.
Yeah.
Is he done as governor?
Yeah, he's done.
Really? I didn't know that.
He's just back in the movies full time. There's a new Terminator coming out.
Wow.
He's back. He said he'll be back, and he is.
Arnie's the best. Like, how the hell did he make an acting career when he could like barely speak English and had a like horrendous accent at the time? Like, and still, okay, his accent hasn't improved massively, but it's still very, very Austrian. But how the hell did he do that? That's amazing.
I have no idea.
It's amazing. Then, yeah, he's got an impressive career.
So, Na'Vi just won the pistol.
They did indeed, yes.
Okay.
8-8. So,
where do you see Guardian playing?
Where I see well, the thing is, right. The thing is, it very much depends on how his teammates want to play, because you can very much fit yourself around the AWP's spawn on a map like this, because the spawns have a really big impact on what you can do, and it's the same on the T side as well. So I often think that you want to take the advantage of your spawn when you're AWPing, or of course you always have to factor in what weapons they're going to have, or how their economy is, or what they're going to likely to do as well. But generally, spawn is really important, I think, with the AWP. So,
but bearing in mind they've got chrisJ on the other side, who we can expect to be AWPing.
Yeah. I guess it depends.
It's a really interesting dynamic, actually, on the Mousesports time, because obviously they used to have Ali on their team, and it seems he was widely regarded as a stronger AWPer than chrisJ.
Right.
But chrisJ's kind of got the kind of arm cannon, like he has to use the AWP. So you got the best AWPer rifling, or the second best AWPer AWPs. I wonder if there's a dynamic there, but I mean that dynamic's gone now anyway, because Ali's in a different team now, right?
We should. That sounds like a really good like piece of art that someone should do. The chrisJ with the arm cannon AWP. That'd be awesome.
Like Megatron from Transformers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I think of. I was a big Transformers guy when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Generation 1, of course. None of that new nonsense. No Michael Bay up in this.
I preferred the other stuff too, actually. That stuff was more raw, man. It was real.
It was real.
It was hard-hitting and real.
Had Orson Welles in it.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there to say?
But that's fine.
I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining either.
I'd rather have Orson Welles and Megan
But that's
Fox
usually the argument, isn't
on
it?
a TV. at least.
Man, the thing is, like, I feel old these days. I'm only 26, but how old are you? You're like,
Older than 26.
are you 30?
I'm 30, yeah.
Oh my god, he's 30 and sat next to an old man.
Don't say that.
I'm 27 soon.
Good.
Good. Okay, well, but the thing is that it's really weird because when I was like really into like playing, when I had the time to play a lot, it was like kind of the period of 16 to, well, actually no, it's a period of
16 to
no,
26.
the first period of 3 actually to like 18 is when I had them when I was playing loads of games and like watching loads of shows and stuff like He-Man, like people wouldn't have seen that now.
No.
Like that's like a thing that we would have watched when we were younger, but people wouldn't have seen the original He-Man stuff.
I feel like we were
when they were
listening
young.
to the Theme-Man intro like 3 days
Yeah,
ago.
we
right?
had a nostalgia fest looking at all the cartoon intros from like when we were really young. But I can't remember any of the other ones that I was.
So people who were asking in DDK's AMA what we do in the break, listen to the He-Man theme tune and play Street Fighter.
Yeah, we play.
Generally.
We don't do that enough though. We should do that a little bit more.
We should, yeah, absolutely.
But I play keyboard. I'm a keyboard warrior. That's the
Yeah.
annoying thing though, because if I want to go to an arcade, I can't like roll up with a keyboard. It doesn't really work.
Not
And
in
I
the
play
arcade.
backwards as well.
I've seen people come to tournaments with keyboards.
You can
before.
get adapters right for the keyboards.
You could play Street Fighter with an iron if you wanted to. People will mod the cables.
Someone asked me a question which was something to do with something to do with. It was something to do with them wanting you to cast at DreamHack. And I was like, oh yeah, James always goes to DreamHack. But I was like, oh right, the reason for that is because he's doing fighting game productions. So do you actually think that you would at any point be able to somehow shift that responsibility so you could cast CS?
Anything's possible. There are people I can
Bit of
delegate.
both maybe?
There are people I can delegate Street Fighter to, but normally when we do Street Fighter at DreamHack, it's like a 1-day tournament, so it's on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And normally Counter Strike's like 2 or 3 days, so I could actually cast at least early stages. It's up to them really.
Yeah, and there are some people that I think it was actually Anders is I think he's commented before that he really wants to see like the formats that you see in some other games like League and Dota with the International and stuff like this, StarCraft as well. We have like loads of different commentator teams at the majors, like loads of different because you want more games and then more commentator teams, so more streams, more CS, and then that would be awesome then if that could happen. So that because I think it'd be so much. It'd just be more awesome. It's just better. It's just better.
I liked what we did at the finals for FACEIT. Like the grand final where we had a different pairing.
Oh yeah,
match. that was fun. That was, I mean, I'm happy to have feedback on that, but I thought it was cool. Like it was I was choosing all the casters, so I just did a bit of service to the loyal FACEIT warriors. Put Dan and myself on first, and then the rest of it we switched people around. So you can see Edward has some kind of problem. This is taking longer than we expected, so maybe it's time to go to a break.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I'm going to sneeze in a moment anyway. So guys, let's go to a break. We'll be back with the rest of Na'Vi and Mousesports here in Mirage as soon as we possibly can. I am an idiot! It is Kebakin, of course. I don't know where I got that other
Let's
thing
just call
from.
him Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is an interesting fellow. And shout-outs to Anders for his encyclopedic knowledge of Christopher Hitchens and his work. And yeah, he threw out the recommendations there, but I'll throw those out later as we are back into the match. And launching himself through the smoke
Zeus
into the glorious heat of battle. 2 quick frags. Zeus is holding things down as well. By the way, I think we gave enough props to Zeus in the previous round where he was crouched behind headshot. He was crouched behind headshot as the entire enemy team was running amok on the bomb site.
Pure confidence.
And by the way, he was the guy that made 3 frags and was like the last guy standing essentially. So that's pretty baller.
He did a Troubley. Maybe he was inspired.
Perhaps. But it's really smart because, well, I think we covered it at the time. Either way, we are going to be jumping into the 18th round here as Na'Vi actually take the lead. There's actually a scout on chrisJ.
If we didn't mention it before, by the way, Zeus has returned. Zeus returneth.
He returneth. Swapping out for Kevin
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Kebakin. Alright, so chrisJ going to try to smoke himself onto safer jewels here. The Tech 9 is the weapon of choice, it would seem. Zeus has got the connector GP here. It's pretty hard to run. Wow, pretty hard to run this position. Obviously, you can see how many areas he has to worry about, but just tries to close the distance instead of holding by himself there, which is really smart.
I think that nade forced the rotation out of B from Seized. I think they have an inkling that it's going to be an A because of that just random nade killing someone lower A. Fortunately for them, it is.
Absolutely, and you can see the split that they have in Tele here. And there is LEGIJA who's on the CT spawn now, so LEGIJA could actually open up this round massively for Mousesports. They really need this. They really need to break Na'Vi now, if they can, early on in this second half. And LEGIJA, they just have to wait for him, as they are. And there is the first player. LEGIJA waiting to spot the second one. Yeah, there it is. Going for the frags. Didn't go for the far away player first. Either way, he does get some good damage and equalizes things. In comes zonixx and chrisJ now looking for the bomb plant. It's been cleared now, thanks to LEGIJA. And in comes Seized in the Guardian. Seized with very fast action there to deal with zonixx. However, the trade does come in. chrisJ against Guardian. And there it is. Guardian will take it. As Na'Vi win the round by the skin of their teeth, but it was not without expense.
I do definitely think that LEGIJA should have engaged the enemy further away before taking out the guy right next to him, because it's an easier frag, right?
I understand why he did it. I think he did it because the shot was a lot more unsure and harder, and he wanted to at that point, because I mean, so many
the
people,
shot further away was.
Yeah, because the guy went to the bottom of the stairs, so the angle became a little bit weirder. And the thing is that everyone has had this experience where you wait too long and it backfires completely. And so everyone's been a little afraid of that, I think.
Guardian, please.
So I kind of like it that he did just go for it in the end. I mean, he was close. But either way, with that opening pick here in the contestation over middle, you'd like Na'Vi's chances to hold on to this round. However, Mousesports are fighting back, and they do have LEGIJA, who's close to connector. Without support, however, there's nobody to flash him in here, so LEGIJA's got a hell of a lot of work to do if he wants to get through connector. But in comes Troubley, does take down starix on the bomb site. And things are looking better and better now for Mousesports as they fully engage in this three-pronged assault onto this A bomb site, and it will go down.
I've just noticed that Kevin Bacon has indeed replaced Edward because of his VAC authentication connection error thing.
Of course, yeah.
So he's in for Edward now.
Missed that?
Now that Zeus is back, so
Oh
let's
my
just hope
goodness.
Zeus doesn't continue to have problems. Otherwise, I might be playing for Na'Vi soon.
I have an excuse to miss stuff today. I'm gonna give myself the license to make
I only noticed it
mistakes.
because literally in the chat it said right here, the last message, Edward has left the game.
Yeah.
But it's probably a lagged message from GoTV, so I imagine it happened a bit earlier.
Now,
So now Kevin Bacon has left the building, so maybe Edward is returning.
see Kebakin again.
Edward is back.
I like how this guy is on call, very fast response. There's no pause here either. It's like in, out, in, out. It's very good. Very good. That's what we like to see. To be fair, we've endured already quite some delays.
That makes it quite difficult to restore money as well, but
I guess
looks like they just want to continue. Look at the CTs.
Yo, hi, Mitch.
We should absolutely keep that on. Alright, so...
It's normally in the American matches you see random people talking. Well, not random people, but the players randomly using the in-game comms despite being on Mumble.
Or TeamSpeak, as the case may be.
Indeed, I think they prefer the Mumblers over there, though.
I prefer Mumble, usually. But anyway, look at this, the Na'Vi-esque. If we take Na'Vi's approach to the situation, going in with the push on the apartments there on B. So far, so good. Only losing chrisJ. In comes Zeus with the re-powered CZ. Now with more bullets.
Turbocharged.
Seasoned Zeus, though, with AK-47s. And this could get a little bit awkward now, as the bomb is actually not planted yet. And they're already on position on B, and they know that the bomb is here lurking somewhere. Zeus going to go in. Great flash for his teammate. Excellent work from Seized. Zeus getting an easy kill, and now zonixx and Troubley have to get out the apartments, but these positions are quite sick from Na'Vi. Bomb is down and everything. Time is of the essence. In they go, Troubley darting out of the window, getting denied completely by Zeus. And zonixx, there's not a lot for him to do in this position. Wow, 1 health. There it is, does get taken down, but left very low. And running about the block is not going to help matters. Zeus is going to survive, and we have 11-9 now. So close rounds, very close rounds. Mousesports really hurting the money of Na'Vi.
Yeah, but Na'Vi getting a... Oh, I think it was Na'Vi on the eco there. They stacked the B bomb site with 4 people.
Yeah.
And they get a free AWP out of it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's been working. And Na'Vi were much faster when they did the similar push when they're on the T side, and it seemed to be much harder hitting. And this time around, we do have that smoke. Obviously, the pre-nades obviously denying the push that we could see that Mousesports were kind of thinking about here. Just kind of idling around T spawn at the moment with the majority of players, as Na'Vi try to just hold their ground at the moment. See if they can catch any information. That smoke's about to go away, so this might be an opportunity for starix to figure something out, but he's actually going to re-smoke it. Sometimes you'll see teams when that smoke goes away, a teammate will pop flash the guy who's close in starix's position, can take a quick peek. Might just happen actually, but no, is the smoke going to come out?
Problem is, you can see LEGIJA, he's prepared for a flash. So if a flash does come in, most of the time he's not going to get flashed at that angle anyway, but he's facing the wall, so he absolutely won't get flashed, and he can mount counter-offense should his team require it. starix in a very aggressive position here. He's just trying to burn down the clock and waste as much time as possible and counter-flash them before they even start the push. They've got no choice but to push now. Only 20 seconds left on the clock. starix can't see anything on the site, and the first frag will go in favor of Mousesports. You can see the rotation coming in here from Na'Vi now. Smokes are down. See Guardian still on the ledge behind the smoke. Gonna have to play for the retake here.
And the patience isn't quite up to par with how Mousesports were when they were in a similar situation, and already dropping 2 players now before the smoke dissipate. So he's going to be able to pick up LEGIJA. There's another one, Edward pushing aggressively onto that pocket jump box's position, and they clean house. That was very fast indeed. I was a little bit worried for Na'Vi there, losing 2 players early on, but they pulled things together very, very well, and another round for them. Mousesports with a lot of patience that round, just waiting for the smoke. And it's interesting perhaps if they have a read on Na'Vi's CT side, because some teams take more aggressive tendencies than others, and those are the teams where you don't want to do plays like that against, because they will push B-apps, they will push underpass, they'll push middle a little bit, and they'll figure it out very quickly, and that's when stuff like that backfires. And we can see though Na'Vi, they didn't, they held their ground, they didn't push apps or middle or anything to find out the info. They just relied on their good positions.
See, they're set up for what looks like a B push, though they do have 2 players just outside A as well. They're going to play for the fake here. Not going to be Guardians here, but it's still going to do the job, as we have 3 people taking presence into the A site. Nice pop flash there from LEGIJA. And that's going to draw 4 people over to the site as Seized positions himself to cut down these players. That's a bomb down. Lots of information. Guardians should be able to get onto the site in time to stop any potential plants. Just needs to hold an angle and burn time so Troubley cannot get the bomb down here. Just searching for him, and there's a frag. Only 1 player lost for Na'Vi. And they've built their money to a point where these remaining rounds are going to be very dangerous for Mousesports indeed.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit worrying. But the thing is that the money on RV is actually is really low. They keep losing a lot of players repeatedly in these rounds. And if Mousesports should be keeping pretty decent tabs on this, so they know that this game is very, very up for grabs. But with that aggressive push there in apartments, that's surely gonna force Mousesports to rethink their opening play here. You can see that they were ready to go for this set play, but losing somebody in Palace, the only player in Palace so early on, is going to weaken the rush to an extent which they have to reconsider things.
And he's pushing Virtus Pro style in the apps, which is going to allow Na'Vi to keep extra personnel over to the A site. You can see even Guardian just peeking through mid, and it's going to go over to the A site because of C's aggressive position. But important to note, he doesn't continue pushing there. He just holds that angle. That's enough information for the CTs. The bomb is down as well. That's going to allow him to rotate. But the frags started going away in Mousesports, but only LEGIJA remains now versus 3. Again, those off-the-wall pop flashes. Trade frag coming in for Na'Vi. 2 rounds away from map 1 of this best of 3.
It's quite sick how basically that pick from Zeus early on, or the aggressive kill in Palace, it didn't secure the round, but it gave them a huge edge, because that push was so awkward. 3 guys up slope, they barely could leave the jump box area, the Tetris area, and they didn't get anywhere close to the site. Like, that was horribly awkward for them, and all because they didn't have anyone from Palace to help alleviate some pressure and allow them to move into some good positions in the push. So very important work done with those aggressive pushes. And Mousesports now looking for something here. And you can see they took the underpass route because it's much less exposed and allows you to get to connectors. You can always keep to these close ranges. But it's not proving too successful for them. They've managed to pick up 2 players. zonixx coming in alone from Palace with the Deagle. Looking for some more Juan Deeks here. Where nothing is really connecting. And Na'Vi now, match point for them, or map point for them. And again, to remind you guys, Dust 2 is up next in this matchup between Mousesports and Na'Vi, and you are watching the FACEIT League qualifiers. That is right, there has not been a date. James is privileged information, he's withholding it from everybody. But we are slowly learning who
hasn't been a date for you either. Oh, boom!
Yeah, I still have to speak to NIP about this. I'm pretty unhappy with that. Oh, excellent! Cuts off Guardian's head there. LEGIJA's head there with that AWP. Very fast work from Guardian.
Bomb has been left on the A slope.
Let's take they're in middle. Edward coming in though. I was not expected for Edward to appear so quickly from the balcony as well. chrisJ is going to find himself a frag, but it's all going to be about these sneaky pushes now. And these angels. Troubley is going to be good on his. Edward, however, gets the better of zonixx. Puts a lot of pressure now on Troubley, who is alone over by the slope. And he has the bomb as well. If Troubley goes down there, the bomb is going to be very hard to recover for chrisJ. Troubley's really in a bad spot. Wow, what a 1-bullet flick from Zeus. That is amazing. chrisJ ran all the way around to make sure he could get that bomb in time. And he has time, actually, to go all the way to B. And he looks like he's going to go for it. Well, this is pretty smart. I mean, they kind of had to split up here a little bit.
Yeah, I'm guessing they had some idea that the bomb was going to be nearby, the last player to fall. But chrisJ is barreling all the way in to the B site now. See how he goes. Oh, just going for a fake just to find out if anybody is nearby. But it's going to be a fairly closed plant, a normal plant for apps, and he's going to take a more aggressive position to eliminate them before they can set up for this 2-man retake. They know it's chrisJ. They know he's got an AWP.
Oh, the double peek and everything. Fine work by chrisJ. Impeccable stuff. And that's exactly how you have to do it. If you want a 1-on-2 post-plant, you have to try to find an aggressive 1-on-1. Because if you let them come to you, like James said, they're going to find a team play setup to make your odds winning the battle much, much worse. So, handled that with brilliance, as one would expect And I think he's the only guy with like, what is that? Is that a battle scarred Asimov? Is it battle scarred?
He likes his rough and ready skins. It seems.
Rough and ready to go.
He's got his scratched up butterfly knife and Asimov to match.
And they're pushing aggressively here on slope. Going to be pop flashed in with 2 players, ready for those trade frags. Mousesports have been playing slow behind that slope, so it is a nice idea to go for plays like this. And still in the angle, Troubley is going to find himself in a spot of bother, but he does force them back. But he was spotted, which is key info there for Na'Vi. However, in the meantime, we are seeing LEGIJA, who's making his way up underpass, looking for that connector play, which again is pretty key. Once he gets into positional connector, the A push can finally commence. But he's taking his time here, and they might just go instead without him. As chrisJ is going to appear there as well. starix still in shadow. They can't quite make much movement here. They really need connector, but Edward's going to come out with a frag there as they're boosting up into the window. LEGIJA now, with his position exposed, goes for the push there. Does get pushed back by the AWPer. Guardian, who is up on the stairs right now, but in comes LEGIJA again. Can he get the better of Guardian this time? Going for the spray. Guardian rattling off a shot. Nobody connecting. There goes Guardian. Seeds coming in from the back now. Able to make things 2 on 2. 15 seconds left. That bomb needs to go down now. Right now, as Seeds comes in. And now it's all on LEGIJA. Zeus and Seeds bearing down in his position. That's going to be it. And Na'Vi take the first map 16-10. In excellent fashion there, once again, you know, doing a really good job. The fact that Mousesports are able to take it so close again and again and again and again, but just never get there, is definitely also to the credit not only of Mousesports but Na'Vi. They are being so good in these like kind of clutch situations where everything kind of goes wrong. They've been doing a great job to save it. So that was quite cool to watch.
Yeah, it was a bit shaky there for Na'Vi. I mean, they had, considering the rotation of players they had there, they had Edward out, they had Kevin Bacon in, they had Edward in, they had Zeus out, Kevin Bacon's back. So the fact that they held it together despite all that disruption, very well done. So again, it is a best of 3, guys, and that's going to be 1-0 for Na'Vi. So we'll be going on to the second map, which is...
It's going to be Dust 2, and Nuke is a decider if Mousesports win Dust 2, which is absolutely possible. But we'll have to see. Do you have any predictions on that one? Anything that you think is going to be interesting to see? Anything you're looking out for?
Well, obviously these days with Dust 2, we're always looking at the AWPers. Guardian is generally regarded as possibly the most dangerous AWPer on Dust 2. So
he is very, very good.
Again, you know, all eyes on Guardian, I guess.
Okay, all eyes on Guardian from James. All right, guys. Time for a break whilst we set up the next map, so stay with us here on FACEIT TV. We'll be back here with more from the FACEIT qualifiers right after this.